welcome to the second session of the Praxis 2022 conference. It's really great to have you here, all you Star Trekkers out there in the knowledge universe. Just to let all the presenters know, what I'll do is you've got 15 minutes to present and 5 minutes for questions and answers. I'll give you a little signal at around 14 minutes, so you've got 1 minute to go with your presentation. Obviously, if you need a little bit more time, we don't want you to suddenly cut yourself off. But if you need a little bit more time, another minute or two, that's fine. It just means a little less time for questions and answers. Okay, so let's get started. First up, from the Faculty of Health, we have Yagia Gentle presenting from Zoom. Take it away, Yagia.
Thank you. So this is a case study of a young woman who has autism and has very violent reactions. This young woman had a very traumatic childhood and then ended up virtually in a padded cell in a mental health facility in Sydney, and for about 2 years, where she was overweight and very afraid of everything. And a team of behaviourists and psychiatrists brought her to where I am and put her in a standalone facility with support, professional support, of which I am one of her supporters. So what I'm going to go through is a few of the successes that we've had with her and the behaviour interventions that we've used with her to get to this point. And I'll emphasise yoga because that's the aspect, that's the intervention that I'm expert in. So there's a whole list of successes which I was going to put on, but it inhibits the quality of my speaking. So I'll just read them out. She goes to excursions now and rarely has behavioural incidents with her excursions. She can talk now using eye contact and a normal voice. So in the beginning, she talked very, very softly, which is an indication of someone who has experienced domestic violence because they don't want to bring attention to themselves. We've given her singing lessons, and one of the interventions is called Simhasana, where you open your mouth and make a big roar with your tongue spit out. And plus, as well as just being safe. Being safe is the biggest thing, of course. She's lost something like 100 kilos in weight. So she used to be quite obese, and now she looks virtually normal for her height. This is not only diet, but also exercise and yoga. And she goes out into the community now, which she's escorted by 3 people, because she has had incidences in the past where she's destroyed restaurants where she's been to. And now she goes out into the community and rarely does behavioural incidents like that. She used to do fecal smearing, which is like smearing on the windows and on the walls and things like that, which is actually quite common with prisoners. And it's a way of the person taking their own power back. So if someone feels powerless, that's one of the indications. So she doesn't do that anymore, which is another indication that she feels more, has more sense of self-worth. Her medication has reduced. She's now able to play games and lose a game without playing up. So she has autism. She has a mental capacity of something like a 5 or 10-year-old person. She can now do 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles. So she also has a mind that's very good in certain aspects and not very good in other aspects. And one of the aspects is that she can see dimensionally where a jigsaw puzzle is very easy for her. She has she gets visits by family members who she used to attack, and now she doesn't attack them. They have recognized that it's part of her belonging, part of her sense of self, that they continue to do this. She operates her own CD player and CDs, so she used to smash things like that, and she doesn't anymore. She understands larger goals, and one of the biggest indications of her successes is how she opens presents, like Christmas presents and birthday presents. In the past, she would be very bland. So she'd open a present and then pass it on, and that was it, like nothing. Now she has expressions when she opens a present. And that's because the part of the brain that gets excited doesn't understand whether it should get excited because of fear or because of excitement. So it's a way of protecting herself, that she opens a present and doesn't show emotion with it. So I'm going to go quickly through the interventions that we do with her. She goes out twice a week to the beach and art classes. And when she goes to an art class, she meets her friends in the disability sector. She has visualizations of the outings when she goes out. So when she's going to go out somewhere, she has what we call a social story, which is a story of what will happen when she goes out. So having autism, that makes it easier for her to go out without any behaviors, because she understands that what she's going to, she is prepared for. She goes for a walk every a few times a week around the block. She takes herself inside and closes the door when she's stressed. So this is another self-protective mechanism that she has. She has activities with staff, including cooking. So she doesn't use a knife, a sharp knife anyway, in case of violence, but she does put an apron on and stirs the food, and gets a sense of creativity from that. She has her own activities like beading and music, and of course she has a diet, but the diet lapses every once a week when she's allowed to eat junk food, Coca-Cola and fried food and stuff like that. And she has a morning routine. So this is the important part. It's personal care, medication. Now she does what we call a music meditation, where she lies in the bed and just listens to music for 10 minutes without anyone saying anything. Now, in the past, she would scream and fray and bash the wall behind her bed, and now she just stays and listens to the music. So it's a way of doing meditation as a normal person would, as an average person would rather, because it's a way of processing the thoughts. She does PT, which is a bit of boxing, a bit of running. And one of the things that she does in PT is she catches a gym ball. So gym balls are really big. And if you stand there and get someone to throw a big gym ball at you and you have to catch it, it stimulates trauma in you. Now, here is a big thing coming at you and you have to control it. So this is a very easy way of getting someone to control their past, their behaviors with their traumas, just by catching a big ball. She does maths and writing. She has a photo of the staff that are changing in a daily plan, so that prepares her for the day. And then she has an evening routine, which includes a story, like a child's story, which shows her some sort of sense of care. and she reviews the day. So she goes through the day and talks to the staff about what she did, and so it gives her some sort of perspective on the day. She can wash her own clothes and hang them up now. The staff have training for restraints in case she does start attacking people, and trauma trained staff meetings. She has regular phone calls and regular visits to the GP and the psychiatrist. So what I'm going to do now is, where is it? Shit, hang on, I've got, oh, it's not here, damn. Okay, I'll just show you this with my screen then. So this is the yoga that she does. So she does a whole series of things. These are stuck in the wall, up on the wall in her room, and the staff go through with her with those. One of the things about the yoga is that the exercises are Satyananda based, which is very slow. The idea is to have slowness, slow and aware. So every part of the yoga that she does is to move the joints and release toxins from the joints and massage the internal organs. But the extra thing that she does is she does balancing. So she's one of the yoga exercises is balancing, where she stands on one leg and counts, and she can stand on one leg with one foot on top of the other foot for the count of up to 35 now, which is quite amazing. And the indication that this has improved her focus is a couple of times we've taken her to the dentist, where she's had to sit perfectly still for 30 seconds, and she's been able to do that, which is quite remarkable for her. The other thing that she does is Nadi Shoden. So Nadi Shoden is one of the yoga exercises where you breathe in one nostril, hold the breath, and breathe out the other nostril, and then back again. It goes into some detail with the science of nadis in yoga to balance. It comes down, it's like acupuncture. So it comes down to three main nadis, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. So which relates to the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So it balances out the nervous system. Then she does Brahmari Pranayam. Brahmari Pranayam is holding your fingers in your ears and doing a humming sound. So that increases, that settles the pineal gland, but it also does a lot with the vagus nerve. And there's been a lot of research in hummingbirds and why hummingbirds live for so long. And they've deduced that it's because of the humming sound that affects the vagus nerve. Once the vagus nerve is functioning properly, then it's generally healthy in lots of different ways. So I think that's about 10 minutes. Are there any questions?
So are you done? Yeah, you've still got a couple of minutes if you need to, but we can move to questions and answers if that's what you prefer.
Yeah, without having the diagrams up, it's a little bit harder to talk in detail.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, well, thanks, Yagia. That's really interesting. I can remember when you first presented on this matter, there had been, maybe a few modest sort of improvements in your client, and it sounds like there's been a lot of progress since the last time we were here.
There has been yes, but also last time I only talked about the yoga intervention.
Yes, that's true.
So what I wanted to emphasize this time is the whole picture.
Excellent.
So it's a bigger picture than just the yoga.
Okay. Well, look, we'll take some from the audience if we have any. Thanks, Therese.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Yagia. That was a fantastic presentation. I'm just curious, do you yourself have been through the Satchitananda yoga training?
Yeah, in the 1980s, I was in the Satchitananda ashram for 10 years.
And how much of the training were you immersed in?
Well, every day, 24 hours a day. Karma
Yeah,
yoga,
so
bhakti yoga, Gyan yoga, Raj yoga, the lot.
that's wonderful. Yep. Thank you so very much.
I just mentioned too, if you can, I don't know if you can see that, but that's my contact. And if you send me a text, I can, you'll have to go see the recording. If you send me a text, I can send you the link to the first video, which goes into the yoga much more depth.
Okay. Hi, thank you so much. That was unendingly interesting. It was great. I just had two questions, please. So the first one was just about where the funding's coming from, because it's obviously an incredibly intense intervention. And the other one was, what is the end goal? Do you want her to live independently eventually?
Okay, the answer to the first question is where the funding is coming from. So initially, the funding came on before the NDIS started. So it was mainly the behaviourist who was the leader of the whole team. So when, because this young woman was in the country town that I'm from earlier, she wanted to bring her, the behaviourist wanted to bring her back there and put the team together and found a mental health disability organisation that would take her and then advocated for the funding. The funding is enormous, as you can imagine. It's like $1 or $2 million a year. And so far it's been going on for 6 years. So it's more or less like a pilot program. Since then, it's been changed to the NDIS, but the NDIS has been obligated to maintain the funding. Had it started with the NDIS, it wouldn't happen. If this whole project has started now, the NDIS probably wouldn't fund it because it is so expensive. And the second part of the question was the end goal. So the end goal, I suppose, would be to have her living in a group home with other people with average disabilities or mental health disabilities. And that's one of her aims, which she understands. And I think that will eventually happen. The main thing is that she herself has done nothing wrong. Had she been in another society, she'd probably be in jail. So it's a compassionate thing from the government to set up this situation.
Awesome, thank you.
Well, look, everyone, I think we need to make up some lost time, but we're just about done. So, Yagia, look, thank you for updating us on this really interesting program, and the results so far seem really, really promising, and I'm sure must make a huge difference to this young person's life. And, you know, thank you for all your work in that area. So thanks, Yagia.
Thank you.